All right, got the motor hooked up. We're gonna slam her in here. You ready?
Yep.
Contact. All right, welcome back to CNC Equipment's YouTube channel. If you guys not been following along, we've got a nasty old project going on here. There's 2 or 3 videos. I'll link them all down in the description below. You guys been following along this thing, you know what's going on, but quick story. Bought this dozer, it's inoperative. Fluids were drained out of it, and we tried to get it going. There's no oil in the engine. Unfortunately, we did get it going, but it didn't sound good, did it? Knocka. Somebody'd run it without oil in it, spun a couple rod bearings, messed up a whole bunch of goodness. So you guys have to check out those videos to see all that action. We had another problem too. We're going to try to fix it today too. That right track over, if you guys been watching, is turning all the time. So somebody that worked on this thing before obviously didn't know quite what they're doing today. They broke the piece that drives that track over. I'll show you guys that later. We'll try to fix that. But if you guys want to see what happens when you run a turbo without oil, it's that right there. Mr. Andy's over unboxing a reman turbo from John Deere. Also, we're waiting on a drive coupling here. We got a new drive coupling for the back of the motor. This one was not too bad, but whenever they tried to put the motor back in, kind of messed it up. For some reason, they took the motor out and put it back in. I don't know. But the big thing we've been waiting on, our friends at Area Diesel Service rebuilt our high pressure fuel pump. Sent this out to us. This actually come off the dozer that had 11 hours on it.
Oh, really?
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys watched all my videos, you'll probably know where that come from. We had one that had 11 original hours on it. The seal blew out on the front of it. The reason was the fuel line was all clogged up and had the return line was clogged up in the tank, so it had to go somewhere. But I sent them. They completely went through it. It's kind of nasty inside. But I definitely recommend hitting those guys up for anything diesel. They did this thing for a fraction of the cost of what it cost at Deere. I can't tell you that. So if you guys don't know, these supply up to like 20-some thousand PSI pressure to the fuel rail on this thing. So, and if you guys remember last time me and Hunter were putting this motor together, it looks a little bit different. We did throw a bunch of accessories and stuff on it off camera the other day. We got the front accessory drive on it. Fuel rail, filter housings, manifold, oil cooler, all that good stuff. I didn't want to bore you guys with all that. So you might notice we kind of got this thing going. We're waiting on that fuel pump to show up. So we're going to throw it on here first and start from there. I think Kevin's got the turbo. He's getting it out there. So we'll get after it. All right, got that high pressure fuel pump on there. One thing you got to make sure on these, you got to line your timing marks up here. You guys can see we've got a number 2 on the main cam gear there and a number 2 on that pump gear. So those definitely have to be timed up. You just can't throw them in. The reason is there's 3 little radial pistons in there, and they have to be coming up on like a compression stroke to fire the give pressure to this fuel rail to fire the injectors off. So if you just throw that in there, it may not build up enough pressure if you don't get it timed right. So we're gonna go ahead and get that all torqued down, snugged up. But again, a big thanks to Area Diesel Service. Got anything diesel, definitely give them a shout. Like I say, great group of guys. That's something new for them, I believe, but they've jumped into the thing full force. I sent them another one off another tractor. They actually were going to try to get this turbo for me. Unfortunately, these are still back ordered from Borg Warner. This one had to come from Canada, from John Deere out of Canada. So
Good job, Canada.
Okay. So I've actually been waiting on that for a week. The guys did get the pump sent out right back away. So, but we'll get this torqued down. But yeah, you guys got anything? I'll leave a link in the description to go check them out. And I think if you mention our name, they'll give you free shipping back on your parts. So mention CNC Equipment whenever you guys call in there. So we're gonna get her torqued down. Which hole? That hole? Yeah. Could turn this way. Yep. I think you gotta come around like this way.
Fishy, fishy. There we go. Yeah.
All right, getting bolts in the turbo there. We did have to loosen the bolts up on the exhaust housing and clock it a little bit. So our main goal today, I don't know if I said it, we're supposed to get this in there and get it running. Is that going to happen?
It's like 3:30.
Oh, yeah.
3:30. What time is it? 8:20.
Oh, okay.
Be running by lunch.
Randy said it. Running by lunch. You people drop it in the comments below. I don't know.
I may have went out on the limb there.
Depends on your forklift driving skills, Randy.
Yeah.
You got to slam her in there one time. It'll be close. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it runs. All right, we got the motor all fully dressed, about ready to go back in there. Got the muffler, turbo, all that stuff on it. Looking good. So one thing that was happening earlier when I said that right track was over turning all the time, and this is actually what controls the track spinner, just 2 wires that do it. This little housing's made out of plastic, and whoever was up in there working this thing last stepped on this. We found out after the fact that housing's all cracked, so I'm assuming that's what's bad, but there's a little electromagnet in there, and it moves this spool valve back and forth, and it's what makes the drive motor go forwards and backwards in the pump. So kind of a somewhat simple. This screw right here actually adjusts that track where it sits in neutral, so if you got a track creeping forward or backwards, you can adjust that out there. But anyway, we're gonna hop up in there, get everything cleaned up. Kevin's working on been tapping out bolt holes. They had the wrong bolts and stuff and messed up and wrong bolts, and it's a good time. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're up here in the belly of the beast. This is that piece I was telling you about. You guys can see it's cracked right there. Somebody's probably put their big old foot on it, didn't they?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what was messing her pump up, so we'll change that out. Kevin's up here tapping out holes. You guys remember there was a broken bolt in here. I had to torch that last time. We got to get all this cleaned up. Get ready for the engine. All right, got everything cleaned up in there. We did clean the intercooler out. You guys might be able to see some steam coming out of it. We pressure washed it, get all the dirt and crap. There's a little bit of stuff in there. Draining the fuel tank out. The fuel tank's actually really clean on this one, but the fuel is super old. You guys can see it doesn't look like diesel fuel. Looks more like something else. It doesn't smell good. So we're gonna get all that out of there so we're not sending it through that new fuel system we got from Area Diesel. But yeah, they're getting the crane boom on there. We're gonna get this thing slung up and try to get slammed in there. All right, got the motor hooked up. We're gonna slam her in here. Come on in. Drive straight in. Okay, now turn it. Not all the way. Straighten up. That way,
Whoop,
Whoa.
whoop.
A little more, don't we? Because it did started. Alright.
A little bit more, or are you lined up? We'll back up.
Leave it in reverse.
Back up a little bit. A little bit. Back up a little bit.
Let me get my phone in and take a picture. Hold on.
Yeah, man. Drop down just a touch. Or pick this pump up one click.
Where'd that little light go?
Sitting on that table, I'll grab it.
God dang. It's all messed up now. You get that and it went to China. Gotta turn a little bit. Turn the motor. Can you get that on here? It's gotta go that way. Want a smaller pair?
No, I can't hit it because of the flange. It's hitting that rivet on the side of it.
Got those? Let me open them up another. Well, let me look at that. So what we're trying to do is get that pump lined up with that drive coupling on that motor. Alright, Kevin's way down there. You can see his sausage fingers putting in the bottom bolts. They going?
Yep.
I got the pump bolted up. You want to go ahead and tighten those while you're down there?
Sure.
It'll be all done down below. Alright, got most everything on over here. Charging the AC, you're pulling a vacuum on it right now. Randy's got the hoop that goes here over the firewall. Still got a couple things to hook up that. It's got some bolts that go in there. They only had like 2 bolts in it maybe, and they're the wrong kind. You ready?
Classy people.
Classy. Bring her on, Randy.
There you go.
Alright, go down. Come on down. Go on down.
Bring the rat's nest over here.
This nest.
Is that my brain box?
That is a brain box, Bubby.
That ought to get somebody riled up.
Crap. Oh, that's your alternator right there. You
Alternation?
gotta go through.
Under maybe? Over?
See that? This goes. Hang on here. Let me put this over here. This goes down in here, Kevin. Probably might want to start with this first. I think that probably needs to go under that fuel line. Sorry.
So what you're telling me?
There you go. Yeah, that runs along down the yellow thing.
Down the old yellow thing.
Those are your fuel filter connections. And this goes right here. I'm going to put that on. Put that thing in that holder. You can do it. Got a flat spot on it somewhere.
Man!
Channel locks, you got those?
Probably.
I'm gonna put this thing on here. I'm getting tired of holding it.
Choo choo!
Uh-oh.
Goodbye!
I see it.
Oh, don't move. Oh, don't move.
Sausage fingers engaged.
That's gonna be $12.
Alright, get mine in, screw you. Alright.
It's always a race.
This one runs along the top, along that ties into all that stuff.
Does it go right there?
Goes right through here. No, that goes on your valve cover.
Oh, yeah, it would make sense, wouldn't it? It is the same wiring first.
Did you tighten this big nut up?
No.
Okay. Alright, we're going to get that spaghetti mess all figured out. It kind of lays in place and plugs in. I've got a few wires here. It goes the turbo. We'll be getting close. Alright, got this side pretty much all done. We got 5.5 pounds of Freon in it. Got all the old nasty fuel drained out of it. Randy, we didn't get the motor running before lunch. You're wrong. It was close though.
You're wrong!
We're waiting on Kevin on his side.
That's right.
He's got more stuff going on over here. What you need?
13/16. What's that one?
Right here.
Ka-chow!
Well, he's still got the wiring harness to finish up there. We got the air cleaner to put on there. Probably got to get some new bolts for that because these were the old air cleaner bolts. You like that?
Ooh.
They didn't have the right bolts, so we just put some special spacers on there. Pyramid technique. Then we'll get some break-in, John Deere break-in oil in it. You know, these people have been bashing me.
Oh, people bash you.
So just so everybody knows, I was not dumping hydraulic oil in this in the very first video.
I saw it.
I had an empty bucket and I put engine oil in it, but I was kind of joking around that we were putting hydraulic oil in it. So just so everybody knows. Hunter did change out some filters and stuff last week. Back here. Come along, she'll be fired up here shortly. It is just a click after lunch, so if we didn't have to wash that intercooler out, we would have been really close. Alright, got the air filter housing in with the right bolts, new air filters. Kevin's going to dump break-in oil in. I already put a gallon in it when we rebuilt the motor. I dumped it in through the top, so holds 7 altogether. He's going to top that off. The John Deere break-in plus 10W30. It's supposed to be in there for 100 hours. Since we got a new cam and lifters and stuff in there, we're going to run that. Getting close. You need antifreeze too, don't you?
You betcha, baby.
Randy's putting some fuel in it. Diesel fuel with the red can. Somebody was bashing on me for using red cans with diesel. I'm sorry. That's the only thing we have here is diesel. Anyway, Kevin's gonna keep on dumping. We're gonna get the antifreeze in there. We'll be getting close to firing up here, ain't we? Well, I'm topping off the hydraulic and transmission tanks here. This side's about full. You gotta do the transmission. We're getting there. We ready?
Yes, do it.
Think we're ready?
Boy, you got a lot of tools.
I know. You think Randy would put something up for us, wouldn't you?
You think?
Where's this disconnect switch at?
Half off.
No sparks?
Nothing's on fire yet.
Oh. What are you reaching? Reaching between my legs. We're going to turn the key on and let the fuel pump cycle. Look for fuel leaks. Got your little magic flashlight. You trying to take it home, are you?
Yeah, just
That's my Christmas present from Jay. I'll never see that again, will I? She's still pumping air. Oh. Hey, Randy?
Yeah.
Can you make sure I turn the fuel on back here on that tank? I've got a feeling I may not have.
Oh. What's that? I hear nothing but squiggles.
Yeah.
Oh.
She got fuel.
Oh.
Yeah. I heard it get fuel.
Yeah, it's real.
We got oil in it. We got antifreeze in it.
Lock it up.
I'm gonna
Fire it up.
let it cycle one more time.
Oh.
It's dry as a bone. It ain't gonna start right off the bat, I wouldn't think. Randy, you want to keep eye on that side over there? Make sure we're on the oil spraying around the turbo and stuff. What do you think?
My side's good. I didn't build this motor. Fire it up.
You didn't build this motor.
Fire it up. Run that throttle 3/4.
Keep an eye on the, yeah, right.
3/4.
Temperature gauge or oil pressure gauge. You ready?
Yep.
Contact. Smoke a little.
Got a little smoke coming
Little smoke.
up. Must be getting a little something, something.
Let it sit there. Try to pump some fuel up. She's smoking out something. You ready?
Yep.
There's that track trying to take off again. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Well, we have to jack it all up if we're going to do that. Try it again here. He's doing the same thing, bud. That sucks.
Take two.
Take two.
We'll be back after this commercial break.
I wonder if I can get the blade down. We need to get that chain off there where we get the front. You know what I'm saying? I might try to crank it over. I don't know. So what's happening? Last time that track was trying to spin, apparently it's trying to do the same thing. So we're going to have to get her up here in the air and diagnose the situation. Alright, we used our 40,000 pound floor jack, picked up the 850 here. We got her off the ground. You guys may have noticed just plugged in the air hose here. From the first video, you know, we put this hose on here to release the brakes. The brakes are on all the time. It takes oil pressure to release them, so that's why that starter was cranking over and slowing down. So what we're gonna do is maybe try to get it going here. That track's gonna take off spinning probably. Open this door up too. I'll stand up here in the platform. All right, what do you think? You ready? Make sure we got oil pressure. I'll keep an eye on that. See if she'll fire. You may have to set it off if that track tries to take off. Huh?
Is it slow enough for you? It's running, but it's not that fast.
Track.
Oh, hang on.
Randy says hang on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's Clinton's side.
I see oil coming out.
Now Randy.
That's Clinton's side.
seriously.
Folks, that's Clinton's
You
side.
can see it down here. See it under there running down?
That's Hunter. He's not here.
Oh. Yeah. These little pencil flashlights on that table, Randy.
Yeah, right there.
Well, I know we put a gas can list it come out. Give me a 15 millimeter. We'll have to take a peek at that oil cooler line there. See what kind of goodness we got going on in here. Alright, so unfortunately I can't get this out. This is actually the engine oil cooler. It's got antifreeze that wraps around it, so the bad thing is I can't get this out till we unbolt that. So that big hole there is all full of antifreeze. So we gotta drain the antifreeze back out, bud.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've got a block drain right here, thankfully. So we're gonna drain the block back down. I'm gonna have to unbolt this. I think there was a O-ring shaped like that figure 8 there. I don't know if it fell out or something. We'll have to see what's going on there. So. Well, it's got O-rings in there, but I think you put the wrong ones in there. Or I did, or somebody did. It's sucked up in there too far. You got that box of gaskets. It's obviously got the wrong one in there. That'll make it leak. So that's a regular O-ring. We need a like a tall square O-ring kind of deal. I know what they're supposed to look like. They're a round O-ring, but they're like twice as tall.
Like that?
That's it. So here's what should have been in there. You guys can see it's a lot taller. Somehow we missed that. There we go. That's all it is. That's minor. I just gotta find one more. Alright, got that all back together. You up off the track, Bubby?
Yep.
Go ahead and let it rip. Alright, we're trying to get that track to stop moving. It ain't moving. I unhooked it. I tried to adjust the neutral adjustment on it. I think the spool's stuck in there, so what we're going to do is take that off right here. And there's a bunch of transmission oil in there, so we got our vacuum canister hooked up to the transmission tank, so hopefully it sucks her all down. You gotta make sure this is all super clean because it is gonna open up on top of the transmission. And there's a little arm that goes down and it's got lined back up into the pump. Get them all loose. Might need a rubber hammer, Randy. I'm trying to hit it with my purse over here.
You sure you actually got all the screws out?
Must be on your side, bub.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, just don't hit this thing. Let me get a little pry bar. How about a big screwdriver, Randy?
This one did.
I don't think so, bud. It was suctioned on there.
Oh, this ain't no dirt perfect vacuum, but this is real.
Grab a hold of that side. I'm trying to hold the camera so your people can see. Oh, she's a gurgling. Look at her. Just sucking her down. She's gonna be dry in no time, ain't it? Let's take that over there and we'll look at it. She's a gurgling. Alright, I've been inspecting this dude. The spool is moving freely in there. I don't see anything that's sticking or out of the ordinary. It's weird. And so, I think what we'll do, I just assumed that spool may have been sticking the way it was acting because I've had that happen before. I think we're going to put it back on there and check the differential pressure here in a couple ports. Basically what that does, that keeps that spool centered up. It's supposed to be less than, or 5 psi or less of differential pressure. So if you got 150 on this side, you can't have any more than 155 plus or minus. So we've got to get that sitting centered. That's adjusted in here. Guess if that was off, that could have done it. It was acting the same after we changed that, so who knows? Who knows what they've done? This here adjusts that track where it sits in neutral and quits turning. So I messed with that a bunch, but I don't know. Do you know?
Nah.
I think we need to clean all it off, put it back on there. We'll get some gauges in it and go from there. Got her.
You did it, bub.
So it's kind of loud and hard to tell you guys, but you see we got a hose going on each side of that spool there, and we're adjusting differential pressure. So we're sitting at 150 psi. So when I first turned it on, I had 100 on one side and 200 on the other, so it can only be 5 different. So I got to adjust it where it's sitting right at 150 on both sides. I do that by using what they call a switching valve. I just made this homemade, so you can bring power in that one side. That's going to give you pressure. You can shut it off, bring power back in from your other side. So they got a big fancy thing that does that, but that works just fine too. And then we had to adjust the neutral on the track a little bit, but I think we got her all set. I don't know if somebody'd been messing with that, or that used part we put on there probably wasn't right too. So anyway, I think we got that. We can get the brakes hooked back up, maybe get this thing outside and see what it does. You want to double check that oil?
What?
The engine oil over there? Are we in trouble?
What?
She's coming over to see you.
I'm fired? Oh, nope.
Go home.
Go home.
Well, you just got here. I haven't seen you for 8 days.
Oh, now.
About 2 weeks.
Now.
So we got the cab down, got the brakes hooked back up. We're going to try to fire her up and hopefully back it outside. I got to push the blade down to get the jack stands out. Kevin's double checking the oil.
I'm going to John Deere to get parts and then.
Are you ready? feeling this thing. Always like to let a new engine run about half throttle, third throttle for a little while. You don't want to let them sit there and idle until the reins get seated in. It's hard on them, so we're gonna let that thing sit there and check for some leaks, and then we'll take it around and run it a little bit. Back at it here again this morning. Got tied up yesterday. Did let the machine run a little while. Everything's looking good. We're going to go in here and calibrate the transmission and the monitor. The reason we got to do that is because we changed those transmission parts down there and redid some of those settings. So we got to go through this calibration here. We'll go through a sensor calibration first, and then we'll go through a transmission pump calibration. So right now I'm going through the buttons and steering. It's telling me what to do here on the screen. So if you guys not seen, it's actually a full video on calibrating one of these dozers. You can go back and look on the channel. I actually did it on Dirt Perfect's dozer. So if you got a machine that's not steering straight, or it's acting a little funny, a lot of times it needs calibrated. So we're going to go on through the functions here. We're going to do the speed on the engine. Alright, so we passed all the sensor calibrations on the deaccelerator, steering, all that. So we're going to run the engine wide open. We're going to let the pump calibrate now. Once those get all done, we'll be back. Alright, so we've passed the pump calibration. Right now we're driving forward into low speed, and it's making the drive motors where she'll actually drive straight, so it's adjusting those. Now it's telling us to go into reverse. It's calibrating the motors in reverse at low speed. And the next thing we'll do, we'll go into high, and then to calibrate it going into high. Save that. Low speed's done. We're going to bump our speed all the way up to 3.0. And we're ready to go forward. Here we go. Alright. Hopefully we passed. We got it. Alright. We passed all the transmission calibration. We should be good to go. I'm going to send it back here and have Randy wash her off. Alright guys, I'm going to jump in here. This dozer has a slight tick to it, and it seems to be getting a little bit worse. You guys may have picked it up here on the camera. The camera is actually picking the sound up a lot more than what it actually is in person. When I got done editing this video, I could hear it pretty good, but I noticed that every time I shut the machine off, I can hear a little bit of clicking in there. It sounds like may have a wrist pin bearing or a rod or something that's not right in there. yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We're probably going to yank it back apart. Unfortunately, I'm not sure yet. So it just has a little tick in it I'm not happy about. Most people probably wouldn't know it, but something's not right in there. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 of those rods that I reused. We did measure everything, and everything seemed to be good on it. So I don't know what's going on. If we messed something up, or maybe the 2 reman rods we got, or we had got a bad part somewhere, or we messed something up. So I don't know. But anyway, we're going to fix it and make it right. So if you guys want to see that, definitely consider subscribing so you don't miss out on that. And yeah, we're getting in deep. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we figure out what it is.